Hello everybody and welcome to this very special video. Within this video, we're going to be running through how you can build wealth as a young entrepreneur. Now, 99% of people do not have a problem with earning more money. Everybody is capable of earning more money, but 99% of people do have a problem with keeping the money that they do earn. And so throughout this video, we're going to be running through the 3 stages of wealth creation for young entrepreneurs. Now, before we dive into it, just a little bit about myself. My name is James Dimitriades. I am from the United Kingdom. I was born and raised here, and I started out in 2018. I was about maybe 15 or 16 years old at this stage in my life in state school. So this is the last day of school. I went to a state school, so that's a free school. I was still very handsome back then, as you can see, but at this stage I was earning £0 per year. I wasn't earning a single penny throughout school. I wasn't born into any form of, financial wealth. I have a very supportive mother and farmer and family, which I'm very grateful for, but I was a very traditional working class upbringing in the UK. Now, after I left school, I then didn't go to college, I didn't go to university, I went straight into working a job. Okay, so I was working at Halifax Bank. This is a picture of me in the toilet. Out of all places, not quite sure why I took a picture in the toilet, but I was earning £12,000 a year. So this was the first ever time I'd ever seen any money. Okay, so changed my life. Obviously, very small amount of money, but I was working at Halifax Bank, working very hard, and then every breathing minute, every waking hour I spent outside of working for Halifax Bank, I was building my first online business with my brother. My brother is called Phil. This is a men's jewelry brand called Undeniable London. I still have this business today. This was the first ever business I ever started, and it took about 2 years, but I was starting to earn in 2021 about £100,000 per year, maybe slightly more actually, and at this stage I'd completely changed every single aspect of my life, and what I was prioritizing was the skills. So I was really diving into becoming the best person I possibly can at e-commerce. And every single time I had the opportunity to meet new people and learn new skills, I would take advantage of that. Now, fast forward to now, we're now in 2025. I'm currently 22 years old. I'm earning over £2.5 million a year across a few different businesses. I run multiple e-commerce stores. I'm an e-commerce business consultant and a mentor, running our private WG community. This is for high-level e-commerce brand owners and online business owners. I've coached over 150 students in e-commerce go from absolutely zero to building, growing, and scaling their own profitable online business. And I've worked with over 50 6- and 7-figure e-commerce brands as well within our private community. Here's a nice Shopify screenshot for those who know Shopify. $606,000 in a single month. Now, throughout this video, we are going to be running through very basic principles. However, 99% of people do not follow these very basic principles. And if you want what other people do not have in life, you have to be willing to do what other people do not do. There is truly no limitations to what you can achieve, but you have to follow these basic principles as a discipline. Now, it starts with stage 1. This is the accumulation of cash, primarily through a business. And we're going to be running through in depth how you can do this the right way without making the mistakes of other entrepreneurs who are also building cash flow businesses, right? And you can do it in a way that actually prints you proper money and you keep the money that you do earn. We then move to stage 2, which is the multiplication of wealth. Now, while you're in stage 2, you're absolutely still focusing on stage 1, but you're taking and extracting money from stage 1, from your cash flow business, and you're multiplying it through investments. And then we move on to stage 3, which is the preservation of wealth. We are going to be diving deep into all 3 of these stages throughout this short video training. So, firstly, guys, we have stage 1, the accumulation of wealth. And so if you're just starting out as a young entrepreneur, you need to start and grow a cash flow business. You need as much money entering your bank account as humanly possible. And you're going to do this through a business. Now, the key to starting a cash flow business is positioning yourself in the right place at the right time. There are so many different ways to make lots of money and start building cash flow. But make sure you start a business that allows you to learn high income skills and positions you, where the opportunity is. So there's a few different options that you could start. So for me, e-commerce, I'm not going to plug e-commerce within this video, but this is the business model that completely changed every single aspect of my financial life forever. You could do coaching or consulting. So if you do have an expertise in absolutely any area at all, whether it be a certain sport, whether it be arts, whether it be in languages, anything at all that you have a strong level of expertise at, you could teach people who want to learn these skills and charge them, okay, through online coaching as a fantastic cash flow business model. You could start an agency, whether it be an AI agency, whether it be an email marketing agency, whether it be a lead gen agency. There's millions of different ways that you can grow other people's businesses and make lots of money from it. Okay, you could do copywriting, which is such a great skill to learn. You could do high ticket sales, luxury watch trading, car trading. There is a million ways to make $1 million. Okay, and the key is finding one out that suits you. Now, for me personally, I do e-commerce, okay, and I do coaching and I build a community as well. So I have a very, very strong understanding of e-commerce and exactly how to build, grow, and scale a profitable e-commerce business. So whilst I build my e-commerce businesses, I also teach people how to build e-commerce businesses, and I work alongside, established brands, consulting and growing their businesses alongside them as well. So I have multiple cash flow businesses. When you're just starting out, pick one and go all in, okay? There's millions of ways to do very, very well. Now, your environment and network is one of the most important variables within your success at this stage. Your network truly is your net worth, and the people that you have around you and the team that you cultivate will open you doors to opportunities that you would not have otherwise. Okay? Now, your job is to extract money from your cash flow business and move those funds into investments. And it's important to understand that as you go through this accumulation phase and you build your cash flow business, a lone soldier will never win the battle. You have to collaborate, do things as a team, leverage other people's skill sets, expertise, experience, what challenges have other people gone through, leverage other people, do things as a team and collaborate. Very, very important. That is why mentorships or communities like our communities, for example, there's millions of great ones depending on what route you want to take, is very, very important to invest into yourself. Give yourself room for error as well, guys. You're going to make mistakes, okay? You're starting out as a young entrepreneur and you plan on being in this game for a very, very long time, for the rest of your life, ideally. And so make sure you give yourself room for error. We're going to be diving it more into that very, very shortly. It's also important to understand that managing your risk and managing your taxes is super important. Unless you learn the game, taxes will keep you poor. So we have this chart here, guys. On the left-hand side right here, we have income, and on the right-hand side, we have time. Now, as an entrepreneur, you are going to be developing skill sets and your income is going to increase over time. I'll run you through how my income's looked as an entrepreneur. So starting out in business, goes up, goes down, pretty wobbly, might have some challenges. And then as you progress over time, you're going to get better and better in business and your income is going to go up. As an entrepreneur, your income will go up over time, assuming you're following the right processes. Now, what most people do, bear in mind most people stay poor, is as they increase their income, their expenses, this red line, also goes up. Now we have this gap here. This is the difference between your income and your expenses. And this gap right here is positive. We want this gap. This gap right here represents freedom. And this gap is very, very positive. Now, the problem is that your income will not look like this forever. And there isn't much freedom here. You're earning lots of money and you're doing fantastic and you're, from the outside perspective, you look rich from other people's eyes, right? You might have the nice car, the nice watches, you might go on traveling all the time, but you have no freedom. Why? Because as soon as a challenge comes into your business, which happens to every single entrepreneur, you will not avoid challenges, whether, you get hit with an unexpected tax bill, or a payment processor gets banned, or a business partner stabs you in the back and steals your money, whatever it is, there's millions of challenges. What this is going to happen is your income is going to take a dip, okay? Everyone, as an entrepreneur, takes dips in income, but your expenses stayed the same. In life, one of the hardest things to reduce is your expenses. It's very, very hard to reduce your expenses in life. And so this gap has suddenly changed from freedom to debt, to slavery. When your expenses exceed your income, you are now a slave. You have to get up and go to work to earn money. You have to listen to what other people say. You cannot choose how you want to live your life. Most people in life live as a slave. Excuse the handwriting, okay? You do not want to become a slave, and you will experience dips in income. So what you need to do is manage your income versus expenditure and increase your freedom gap as much as humanly possible. How do we do this? I'll run it through right now. So you're an entrepreneur. As you progress, your income will go up over time. Okay? Brilliant. That's fantastic. Now, as you do this, your expenses also will go up, but at a much slower rate in comparison to your income. And so now your freedom, right here, your freedom gap, which represents choice, which represents your ability to think, it represents your ability to travel, to meet new people, to provide for your family, whatever it is increasing. Fantastic. And what you are going to do, which is what 99% of people don't do, is discipline their expenses and move this free cash flow that you have right here in this freedom section into the second phase, which is multiplication. Growing and multiplying the money that you earn from your cash flow business into investments. Investments are where the rich get wealthy. Now, you might be thinking right now, these is super, super basic. I already know this. Well, if you already know this, why do 99% of people stay poor their entire lives? It's because this is a discipline. Okay? Very, very important to understand. This is a discipline. And if you follow this strategy, you will become wealthy. It's inevitable. And so here, you're going to be investing your free cash flow from your business into investments to multiply your wealth. Now, again, your network here is very, very important. Your network is what's going to provide you access to opportunities that if you didn't have your network, you wouldn't have access to those opportunities otherwise. You will stay broke if you do not know the right people. Okay, and you want to move that cash from your business into investments. I've listed some investments here. You could invest your money back into your business, so you reinvest into growth. You will be doing this anyway, because that will be why you've grown your income. You're going to be investing into new products. You could invest into your personal brand and build a name for yourself. You could invest into stocks and shares, crypto, property, gold, luxury watches. You know, there's millions of ways and places you can invest your money. The key is investing into what you know, right? Don't just invest into crypto because someone told you to get into crypto that you saw online just for the first time ever, okay? Invest into what you know and make sure that you don't just spread yourself out too thin, right? But you need to be multiplying your wealth, because what's going to happen as you multiply your wealth is you're going to be earning more money with time, which is fantastic, but you're earning money with money, not your energy, right? And so this money right here, you don't need to work for, okay? Your money works for you, and you want to live off this money right here, the money that you got from investments, okay? Very, very important. So, diversify your wealth into different assets. Always manage your risk. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you are a professional risk manager, and you are always dealing with uncertainty and risk, okay? You need to manage that. You want to let your knowledge and high income skills compound over time. Now, I also mentioned to stack freedom gap years, because this is a very, very important principle. I'm going to explain what this is right now, because a really great hack to operate in a different way to everyone else is to stack freedom gap years. Now, 1 year of living expenses in cash in a separate bank account is 1 year of freedom, right? If you don't earn a single penny, if you have a year's worth of living expenses in a bank account, like an emergency fund, for example. You can live for a year with no questions asked, no worries. Fantastic. And you want to do this, and you want to stack as many years in a separate bank account as humanly possible, okay? Because this is how you can operate from a different level of thought than most people, because most people are just chasing paycheck to paycheck. Month comes, they need to earn money to pay for the bills, right? But if you've got Freedom Gap money, you're in a good spot, okay? So make sure you understand at all times what your monthly expenses are. Multiply that number by 12, okay? That will be basically your annual cost of living, how much you spend in a year. Now, divide how much money you have in your Freedom bank account pot. It's a separate bank account I have for Freedom Gap, or your savings in this pot by your annual cost, right? And that's how many years you can live without earning a single penny in this separate bank account that you've put, okay? And the more years you can stack, the better you will do, okay? And so these are very, very basic principles as we discussed. But if you just stick to this simple discipline, you will become wealthy. Now, as you go through these two stages, you're going to be accumulating more wealth, you're going to be multiplying your wealth, and you're going to be constantly cycling more money, right, between these two, like a never-ending circle. You're now going to need to preserve your wealth. Now, as mentioned earlier, the problem does not lie in your ability to make money. It lies in your ability to keep it. And the more successful you become, the more people are going to try and take from you, to steal from you, and preservation of this is very, very important. So how can we do this? There's many different routes, right? Definitely diversifying your wealth between different bank accounts, potentially even different countries, as long as you get the setup correct. Definitely multiple different assets. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, right? Definitely diversification is very, very important. As we discussed some of the assets, there's many, many more assets that we didn't discuss that you could invest into. If you can get multiple passports, again, to give you freedom, is very, very important. Of course, multiple banks in different countries. You don't want to be tied down to just one thing, right? Because if something goes wrong, you've not given yourself room for error. And as we discussed earlier, room for error is one of the most important areas, okay? Because you'll maintain freedom. And if you follow the 3 stages of wealth creation, accumulating your money, multiplying your money, and then preserving it through cash flow business, investments, and thinking smartly, you will live a fantastic life. This is exactly how I went from earning £0 a year to 2.5 million a year in a very, very short space of time by just 22 years old. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you would like to learn more about making money online, about e-commerce, about how to create a life of freedom in your life, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can be informed of when I upload next. And of course, if you do have any questions or you'd like to add any points to this presentation, please leave a comment down below. It does help the channel. It's a new channel. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day.